about the final project for my 422 sensory analysis class. So for this project, we did chocolate ice cream. And so the members of my group, it was Phoebe Unger, Samantha Mamer, Rem Foxley, Courtwright, and me, Brooke Lutzy. So the first thing that we had to do when we were working on a presentation was try and figure out which qualities we wanted to analyze and do different types of statistical analysis on. So in order to decide which types of qualities and which qualities we looked at, we read a bunch of different pieces of literature, and so we did like a lit review to look at different qualities in ice cream, how those have been affected, studies that have been done on those, and also different types of ingredients analysis and changes in ingredients that affects the particular attributes. So the attributes that we picked to analyze, or the qualities, are airiness, creaminess, smoothness, color intensity, richness, like richness of a chocolate taste, the aftertaste of the product itself, and the sweetness level. So we had an overarching hypothesis of our research project that was there would be significant differences in the chocolate ice cream samples from the 4 different sample sources that we used. 2 of the sample sources we used were dryers, one was slow churned and the one was not. And then we also did a Swiss light chocolate and then a Halo ice cream. And then the Halo ice cream was high protein and low-fat dairy-free ice cream, while the Swiss light was also a light or a low-fat ice cream product. Okay, so our next question after coming up with our hypothesis was how do we analyze the samples? So we put the samples for testing in red solo cups. We had codes on the samples that were random digits. And then we had panelists evaluate the 8 attributes that I recently included in the last slide for each of the samples, and then measured on a line, 15 centimeter line from 0 to 15 centimeters, and the panelists were each given standards of each of the different attributes, and then we changed the serving orders between the panelists so they had balanced serving orders. Oops. Okay. So for the data analysis, we completed an ANOVA, and then we also did a Fisher's LSD analysis based off the data, as well as a biplot PCA that Dr. Diaco helped us with. Okay, so this is the data analysis for ANOVA. You can see that we have the degrees of freedom for sources of variation, our panelists, our ice cream, and then the different sources of variation for each of the 8 attributes that we looked at. Okay, so then this is the biplot of the characteristics and the attributes that we looked at, and then it also has the names of the different ice creams that we looked at, the different sample sizes. So you can see that the proximity of the dot to the different characteristics on the biplot show how each of the samples were primarily described. Like for example, for the Halo ice cream was most described as caramel and having an airy texture. And then the closeness of further away that something is from a brand to the quality or the specific attribute on the graph shows the relationship. Okay, so now after we did all those different types of statistical analysis, we had some conclusions about our data. The conclusions were that there were significant differences in 3 of the attributes among the different samples. There were significant differences for brownness, airiness, and caramel flavor in the ice cream samples, as well as the biplot was really the thing that gave us the greatest amount of data and conclusions in how our ice cream was described because of the proximity of the different qualities to the ice cream brands. Like Dryer's chocolate was really close to brownness, but not a lot of the other ones were, so this one was the most described as brown. And so, yeah, there are other 5 attributes that I did not just list earlier, did not have statistically significant differences among the samples of ice cream. Yeah, that is what we got for our project. Thank you so much.